Welcome. From Aquarius to Pisces season, when the swords meet the cups, from night to day. Now, we've been channeling this message for some time and working on this expansion. Part 1 will be linked down below. We're going to get into this in much detail right now, as well as there's also a visions. It's going to be loaded up onto the channel. I just had a vision. Now, what's happening here is we're healing with our cup. We're literally healing with our cup. The matter and the energy is having a recalibration through a rebirth. And this is a deeper connection. Each counterpart is having a rebirth. And this has to do with going from a nightmare, the South Node, our life's debts, to a dream. Our connection to the 10 of Cups. The North Node, our life's purpose, as well as the North Star. And this is part of our life's purpose and what's calling us home, what's calling us together. And you can see when we go from the south to the north, it's a transformation. It's an ending to begin again. Now, this is the 10 of Swords, so we're having an ending within the mind. But remember, this is connected to the Cups. So we're going to expand our mind with our heart. That's key in the transformation. We've been talking about when the swords meet the cups, we go from night to day, and we're meeting up in the land of the in-between. And this is our connection to the all and the 12th house. We know we got the message of the 12th house and what is the lowest of the low with the highest of the high, meeting through the center point, and we're expanding through the center point. And this has to do with healing from, of course, this expansion from the south to the north. And what we're doing here is we're understanding literally the power of purpose. Like literally, look, this is the power of purpose, where we have a thought and we have a feeling and we act on it. Okay? What's this? The power of purpose. To have an ending, to begin again with emotional fulfillment. And that we know is connected to the 2 of Cups, but it's meeting up through the 3. We're coming together through the 3. Now, what I've been shown is the 3 of Cups, it right now is twisted. Oh, sorry, I received it like this. Let me get it straight. It's twisted. Now, we want to untwist it. Now, in order to untwist this cup, what we're doing is we're working with the Hierophant. This is having access to that 13 spheres of knowledge, the feminine, the matter, and expanding it with the masculine, the energy. Now, we're connected to working with the buffalo. This is the message coming through. We've been talking about the buffalo. The buffalo goes into towards the storm, not away from it, towards the storm. We're going towards fear because this is the key. How to continue unlocking and working with this expansion is we have to go towards fear. This is it. We're going towards fear. We're not running from fear. We are going towards fear and expanding through it. And this has to do with forgiveness. These 3 of Cups are out of balance because the forgiveness needs to be honored here. And it's a forgiveness between the 2 of Cups, because literally the 2 of Cups is out of alignment. We're going to talk about how it's getting back in alignment within a minute. So what we are doing here, we're going to get a message on it anyways. What we're doing here is we're growing together. We're going to grow together. We're going to grow together through our connection to the cup. It's the cup that's bringing us together. Here, we're not connected to the cup. Look at us. And that, here, we are connected to the cup. And that's why the Three of Cups is here. Oh, guys, hold on. I do not want to be losing this most important, misplacing this most important card. Here. We have to honor this cup. And what's being reflected back to us when we honor this cup. But in order to see this, we need to change the way we think. We need to have a beginner's mind, because this is what's pulling us together. Remember, each twin having a sword, okay? And what we're seeing is unconditional love. The connections to all of this, and how to create with this. Because remember, this has to do when the swords meet the cups. When the air element, communicating, meets the water element, sensing. Look, the negative tetrahedron of water comes together with the positive tetrahedron of air. We communicate and sense. And what are we doing? We're communicating and sensing through the heart, brain, and heart coherence. And we're honoring that this is happening right now through rebirth. A rebirth with this connection between us. Because that 3 and 2 of Cups is out of alignment because we've lost our way. And we've been getting back to our integrity. Remember, our integrity, our patterns of integrity are connected to our authenticity and unconditional love. So we know we're elevating. Remember, when night turns to day, we got this, the central sun, abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. And that's connected to this recalibration that we're having with the 3 of Cups. Connection to the 2.
This TD easy trade.
Hang tight, guys. Hang tight.
It gives me what I need to invest on my own. What do you use?
I just go with the internet comment section.
Thank you. This is it. But remember, this is about that cup. The energy, the masculine, has to pick the right cup, because we're going from the south node to the north node. Now, we have the cup of lust connected to the south node, and the Ace of Cups connected to the north node. And this has to do with getting back to our integrity. What happens here is the masculine is going to look and this cup is not the right cup. This cup has been blocking this cup. This cup has created a shadow over this cup. What the divine has done is the divine has removed this cup. We are doing shadow work to see this for what it is, so that this cup is removed and we see through an illusion. We're tricked here. And when we see through this illusion and the energy, the masculine looks within the right cup. Connection is reflected back. The feminine is reflected back, because what the energy is reflecting off the matter and reflecting it back, the light back to the masculine, and the masculine is seeing a connection to the feminine through himself. And remember, the masculine is the energy. Now this is big, because this is how We need to see this in order to come together. 2 plus 3. And the masculine is seeing this connection here. The love frequency, self-love and soulmate connection. So it's very important now to understand why or where we've been put in places to look at things through the lens of self. Because self needs to see self in order to understand this expansion. Make the proper patterns, because here we have the Vesica Pisces. Okay? These two spheres coming together and the light is expanding. We know on the second day of creation, there was an exact replica of spirit created. And the light is being shared between them. Now, there's also a connection here to right making the proper patterning in order to come together, because we're coming back together and meeting up in this land of the in-between with brain and heart coherence. Okay? Our thoughts are going to be in alignment with our heart. So what we're doing is we are accessing our Merkaba, transcendence, ascension. You're rising up, and we're literally rising up. We know this. We're elevating, because this bridge, where'd this bridge go now? We'll just use this bridge is in the land of the in-between. It's an elevation. But we also are honoring, we're using our receptivity in order to get to this bridge. Now this has to do with the message we got of the two serpents coming together within this activation. And that was the message to the masculine, the part 2. We found out that these two serpents are helping us to transform through kiss, through nourishment. Now what's happening is that we're understanding that our truths, our connection to the swords, nourish us. They nourish our third eye chakra. And we're also finding out that what we put within is connected to literally what we put within, our tummies and also our solar plexus. So we're having a recalibration here from the Earth star to the Soul star, but we're laser focusing on the root and the crown. And that's going to expand our receptivity. So literally, the one serpent is going down while the other serpent goes up. And we are having an expansion because we've become receptive, because we're healing with our lower chakras as well as our third eye. This has to do with frequency. Remember, we need to look within. We need to look within the cup. Remember, when night turns to day, you go from a nightmare to a dream. We expand in frequency, because into me, I see. And I see me. And that inner child holds the key. Here we have the Hierophant again, our connection to the 13 spheres of knowledge, the matter, secret knowledge, the unknown, and expanding it with the masculine, the energy. Now the inner child has the key right now. We're also going to have an activation with the feminine and our pineal gland, and we have seed energy here. This is connected to introspection with the moon, and look at that inner child. We've accessed the proper patterning here, and it's connected to scarab beetle spirit. You can see the scarab beetle right here in the colors of the light. The central sun, abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. Because we're seeing the patterns of us reflected back to us when we go within and have our introspection. Remember, this has to do with the sun. We're going within. We're going to expand the matter with the energy. So we're accessing Metatron's cube, the all and the Akashic records. And we remember that we're having a rebirth, transformation, reweaving, and reactivation. We're having a rebirth with love and unconditional love. And we know that that's connected to our counterpart, these Canadian geese made for life. And what we're doing here, our prosperity. And what we're doing literally is we are facing what's toxic. We're facing our fears. We're facing where we're tired. We're facing where it didn't work out. Because we are literally having a recalibration to this dream. The reactivation of this dream from a nightmare to a dream through the Ace of Cups. And what's being reflected back to us. And remember, we're honoring what's being reflected back to us in this cup. 639 hertz, reconnection of relationships to self and others. 963 hertz, the true state of being. And 741 hertz, expression. Why? Because we need to express. We want to express when we meet up with those cups. We want to express ourselves when we meet up with those cups. I really need to keep these cups nearby. We want to express ourselves when we meet up. Where did those cups go? Okay. We want to express ourselves. So let's get a message for how we are untwisting it. When we go from the right, get the right cup, okay? And hopefully in the meantime, I can find out where where we're meeting up with those cups. Right here. So it's because I'm going to share the rest of this message. We remember we're having a beginner's mind. Remember to meet up. And that beginner's mind has to do with confidence in our magic. And we're doing that right now because we're expanding our soul with spirit. We need to know something. And this is of the new. This is of new. And that has to do with the key. Remember, the key is the Hierophant. The unknown. We can't be afraid of the unknown. And we're going towards our fears. We're going to face them. And then we're going to expand it with the masculine, the energy. This has to do very much with that vision. And what we are getting access to is information on how to expand and heal with this animalistic part of ourself. So we're getting back to source, and we're going to have patience for a rebirth. And remember, this has to do with the moons. And remember, we're manifesting with the moons. We have now our new moon in Pisces, and that's connected to this and the birthing. As we go from healing from deceptive to being able to be reflective. But it came with much pain. We're honoring that this comes with much pain. Remember, a pearl is created because sand got inside. And there was much pain in order to form this pearl. So we're going within, and we are literally having the strength to face our fears. But we had to become friends with this part of ourselves first. To love the self. This is where the unconditional love begins. We're going from within to without, not without to within, okay? And literally, we are going from without to within here, but we're expanding from within to without. And here is our rebirth. We need that inner child. And it has to do with what is seen. What is seen within. We restore confidence with this sword, with our magic. because that is where we spiral from the mind. Connected from fear to love, and we've expanded with the masculine and feminine. And this has to do with being able to face our fears. We face our fears, and there's forward movement moving through because we're having an integration. Right now we're in the time of integration, okay? Remember, of unconditional love. The coming together of everything, of all of it through the center point. And we're doing this as we expand pleasure into happiness. We're literally maturing the matter and the energy. This is the maturing of life here. And us on this planet, the maturing of everything. This universal expansion. And we're doing it through sustainability. And we're learning how to sustain our energy and our connection to everything with the perfect storm, the courage to step into life. These are connected. We're mastering ourselves, and through mastering ourselves, we're calling in our abundance. And we did come here to expand. We're honoring this. Remember, from sadness into happiness. And right now we're doing this solo dolo, this work. So even if we are not physically in separation, we are doing this work. Because remember, this is the connection to our cup. This has to do with our cup. We know when we're in solitude, how we're creating this elevation here and maturing pleasure into happiness. We've been talking about what that is in all of our readings. So I want to get to the point here. It's just where we know that this is where the devil is siphoning our energy right now. Our pleasure centers are out of whack and out of balance because we're seeking pleasure to heal from our pain. But we're not going to seek pleasure to heal from our pain. We're going to turn our pain into pleasure by healing sadness. And we're going to create happiness. And we're doing this by focusing right now on what we need to focus on. Let's share this message before we get this activation, okay? We got these cards last time we met. On part 1. Last time we met up. Part 1. Which was last time we met up. All right. So this is where we're going to honor our needs. And we're going to say yes. And it has to do with a consensual relationship. But we need to nourish ourselves and care for ourselves. We're seeing what a beautiful and rare flower we are here. And this is allowing ourselves to be seen and allowing the unbridled passion within a relationship without the restrictions of times past. So this fits in now to this recalibration with the masculine and feminine, this restart we're having with the matter and the energy. And we know that the next message out was Record Keeper. Your divine path, shared learning, the wisdom of an elder. This mandala holds the energy of the great halls of wisdom and brings forth divine guidance of the ancient ways. And this has to do, we have to listen with an open heart in order to hear this, with pure intention, and we gain entry. It's time for you to be aware of the birth of melody, sound, vibration that will sing to the song lines across the globe. This is about harmony. And we know the 4 directions. We got this. And this has to do with finding our way with integrity here. We're coming together to expand through the center point. Weigh your options, make a new plan, a combined approach. The 4 directions, north, east, south, and west, each hold a different perspective. This is connected to the medicine wheel. These are perceptions, your mirror to viewing your world, and thus are reflected within your everyday life. Become the quester of your life. Seek within, and you will discover. that's how we know. It's more confirmation just to show that how we know which cup is for us. And this is where the serpent, we got the serpent. The serpent was the next card. We know the 2 serpents are coming out of the 2 of Cups, which I have misplaced the 2 of Cups right now. The Sacred Serpent. This healing mandala brings guidance on the transition you are currently experiencing. The mandala of renewal speaks of balance of the light and darkness within, and thus without. It represents a time of solstice and celebration. The sacred serpent awakens within your core and watches over you as you descend into the depths of yourself and enter the spiral of life. Honor this sacred time as you enter your inner temple for a journey that can only lead you to renewal, which is what we're doing. And we know it's a renewal to the heart and unconditional love. Right here. And this has to do with what we're forging. We're forging this with the Council of Beings. And that's why it's so important for the masculine, the energy, to see what's being reflected back to them within this cup and expand with their life's purpose, because our 10 of Cups is connected to all of life expanding here. Now, let's see where those, let's get an activation for how we're untwisting these 3 of Cups. And I want to see, I'm being called to go here, because of course it's what we're seeing within the cups. What are we seeing reflected back to us? To untwist the 3 of Cups, which is untwisting the 2 of Cups to get to the right cup. And we know that the energy, the masculine, is going from the cup of lust to the cup of unconditional love. And it's very important right now that we give people space while they're on their paths in order to see what they need to see within these cups, within our cups. All right. What is being activated when we untwist it? And I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. What is being activated when we untwist it? Still not feeling it. Hey guys, the cards need a reshuffle. What's being activated? Still not feeling it. I think I gotta do a side shuffle, guys. Because my energy's off. And the divine knows it. The divine's like helping out right now. It's because, you know, guys, this message was really hard to explain. And I tried to do this message so many times to get the message out. And I'm really trusting, hoping, and praying that the message is coming forth. All right. Well, this is going to heal our partnerships. We're in a time of healing partnerships. And there it is. Voice activation, angelic attunement, divine support. And there it is. We answered the call. And we're being present. I am presence. Light body activation, accessing the divine within. And that's what this is all about. We're having a light body activation. We need to get a deeper level and connection to the divine within, to expand from within to without. And we know we're doing this through the present moment, and we're gonna talk more about this tomorrow. But let's get the message for this. Before we say goodbye. Voice activation, angelic attunement, divine supports. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. This is the highest form of angelic beings who are said to radiate. These are the highest form of angelic beings who are said to radiate from the heart of Source. They have been described in many different ways through the ages, but what is common is the idea that a brilliant light emanates from them. The word seraphim means burning ones, for in ancient times, light was associated with fire, as this was the main source of light within homes. So look at that. This is a deeper connection to our flame. Twin flames, Starseed twin flames, encounter just said 3111. These beings of infinite light are essentially divine love that is taking on an angelic form in order to serve the universe. When they have appeared physically, they have been described as having 6 wings, and they are known for their heavenly voices. In fact, miraculous planetary shifts are reported to take place when they sing. In the heavenly realms, they sing in constant praise of the Creator. Other angelic presences report to them with regard to their spiritual duty, as it were. It doesn't operate in such a linear way, but this is the best way for us to understand the process. If you've ever woken up hearing your name being sung, the seraphim have visited you. When they come to you, know that you are being blessed to be in the presence of the angelic beings that emanate directly from the heart of Source. Their voices will help awaken the angelic presence you hold within so that you can support the expansion of the world. So look at that. The light is literally calling us from deep, deep within. That's the connection to this message. Like our voice literally within. Our frequency, our vibration, our energy. We're literally calling ourselves from within to without in order to have this expansion. Lit. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow when we expand off this message. Until then, you know I am sending it to you. Those good healing vibes. I love you. Take care. And thanks for bearing with me while this message got out. Iman.